Here's the next two questions in this analytical geometry, grade 10 preparation. Let's see here. Calculate the midpoints of BD, BD, and AC. Hey, those are diagonals. Let's see those midpoints. All we do is add the x values. Well, let's look at BD. 2 plus 1 divided by 2. That's the x coordinate of BD, of the midpoint of BD. Then let's add the y values. 4 plus -3, that's 4 minus 3. It's just over 2. We divide by 2 to find the midpoint. We add the x coordinates and divide by 2. Add the y coordinates and divide by 2. Well, that's 3 over 2 and 1 over 2. That's the midpoint of BD. Let's do the midpoint of AC. The midpoint of AC is we go -2 plus 5 over 2. Hey, that's 3 over 2. And then we go 1 plus 0 over 2. Hey, these two midpoints are exactly the same for the diagonals. That's quite a useful thing. If two diagonals share the same midpoint, it means they must bisect each other. They must cut each other into equal pieces. Therefore, if diagonals bisect, it's a parallelogram. Well, if this is a parallelogram, and we know that we've just shown that it's 90 degrees there, and we know that it's a parallelogram. I'm saying if it is a parallelogram, can we classify it? Well, we know we've got 90 degrees. We know that opposite sides of a parallelogram are equal. All the sides are equal, and it's 90 degrees. It must be a square. It has to be a square. That would be the best description for this quadrilateral. Calculate the diagonals BD and AC. Let's try that. That means the distance. Calculate the distance. Well, we put it into the distance formula. Let's try here. Let's start with BD. 2 minus 1, 4 minus -3, that's 4 plus 3. 2 minus 1 is 1 plus 7 squared is 49. We get 50 in our calculator. That's what BD squared is. AC squared, let's do it. Let's do AC. We'll go 5 minus 2 plus 0 minus 1. Hey, that's still 49 and 1. That's going to equal 50. Both of those diagonals, the distance, we square root these things to get the distance, are both root 50. The diagonals are equal. Well, if the diagonals are equal, that's one of the properties of, we know that it must be a rectangle. If we only knew that BD, that they were perpendicular, if we only knew that they were perpendicular, then we could say if they're perpendicular, we could say that this quadrilateral must be a rhombus. It might be a square, but if all we had the information was perpendicular bisecting diagonals, then we know it's a rhombus. But a square is a special type of rhombus. If we only knew that it was perpendicular, we know that it would be a rhombus. Well, what's the area of this shape? Well, we figured out that's 5 and 5, and we know it's a square. Well, the area of the square is 5 times 5. The area of this thing must be 25 square units. Okay.